My name is Mark. I'm 36. And for years, I believed that love could survive anything: distance, disagreements, even betrayal. I was wrong. Not about love in general, but about our love. And I realized that the day she said those words, I'm not sure about us anymore. We were sitting on the couch in our living room, a space that had once like home, but now like a stage where I had been playing my part for too long. The TV was on, but neither of us was watching it. She was staring at the floor, fidgeting with her hands, her eyes avoiding mine. I could feel the tension thickening with every second. I had seen signs before, little cracks here and there, dismissals disguised as jokes, cold silences that I blamed on stress. But nothing prepared me for this moment. Nothing prepared me for the weight of those words hanging between us like a storm cloud ready to break. I don't know if we're working anymore, she said finally, her voice soft but heavy with uncertainty. I studied her face, the familiar curve of her cheek, the slight twitch in her lip, the way her eyes darted away when they should have met mine. She looked fragile, almost apologetic, and yet the words she spoke cut deeper than any argument ever had. I could feel my heart tighten, but oddly enough, a part of me stayed calm because the truth is I had already known it was coming. I had already seen it for months now. I smiled. Not a big, triumphant smile, not a cruel one, just a quiet, measured smile, the kind that carries both clarity and finality. She looked at me puzzled, waiting for a reaction that matched the panic she expected. Actually, I said, I've already signed the divorce. Her eyes went wide, her parted in shock, a part of me almost guilty. But then I reminded myself this was the moment I had been waiting for, the moment I reclaimed control over a situation that had slowly spiraled out of respect and love into doubt and dissatisfaction. She blinked, trying to gather herself, and I could see the realization dawn in her face. I was serious. I wasn't bluffing. I wasn't begging or bargaining. I had acted before she even fully made up her mind, before she had decided whether she wanted to fight or leave. She swallowed hard, her voice barely audible. You what? I signed it, I said again calmly. I filed, and it's done. Not because I don't love you, not because I'm angry, but because I respect myself enough to stop waiting for someone who isn't sure they want to be here. The room was silent, except for the faint hum of the refrigerator in the corner. I watched her process it, watched as the color drained from her face. For years I had been patient, tolerating emotional distance, dodging arguments, trying to keep the peace while silently dying inside. I had let the small things pile up, her ignoring my efforts, brushing off my concerns, questioning my worth without saying it outright. And now, after months of uncertainty and doubt, she had finally said the words that confirmed what I already knew. We weren't in this together anymore. She tried to reach for my hand, a desperate attempt at connection, but away slightly. It's too late for that, I said softly. Not because I want to hurt you, but because I've spent too long being the only one invested. This is something I had to do for myself. Her voice trembled now, a mix of fear and regret. I didn't mean I was confused. I nodded, acknowledging her words, but my mind was clear. And that's exactly why I had to act. Confusion is fine, but living in it, dragging us both along while you decide, that's not fair to either of us. She sank onto the couch, burying her face in her hands, and I a pang of sorrow, not for myself, but for the relationship we once had. There was a time when I would have begged, would have apologized, would have done anything to make her stay. But I had learned the hard way that love alone isn't enough. Respect, certainty, mutual effort, those are what keep two people together. And when one person can't give that, the other has to choose themselves. I turned away, pacing the room slowly, letting the weight of the moment settle between us. I know this hurts, I said, my voice quiet but steady. It hurts because we had something real, something good. But love isn't supposed to feel like this every day. It shouldn't feel like walking on glass, wondering if the person you care for the most even wants to be here. She lifted her head, her eyes glossy, filled with a mix of regret and disbelief. I didn't realize. I didn't see how much you've been holding back. That's because I couldn't. I said, I spent years trying to make things work, trying to be patient, trying to fill the gaps, but now I've learned that patience has a limit. There's a point where waiting becomes a silent surrender, and I refuse to surrender anymore. Not to uncertainty, not to doubt, not to hesitation. She looked at me for a long time, and in that gaze I saw a mix of emotions: shock, sorrow, guilt, and maybe even understanding. I wasn't expecting forgiveness, and I wasn't asking for it. This was about closure, about reclaiming control over my life, about proving to myself that I could act with clarity and courage instead of fear. I need you to know, I said, sitting down across from her. This isn't a punishment. This isn't revenge. It's a choice. A choice to stop waiting for someone who isn't sure if they even want to stay. A choice to honor my own worth and my own future. She nodded slowly, tears rolling down her cheeks. I never realized how much I hurt you, she whispered. You did, I admitted, but that's the past. And now the present is about me making a decision that I won't regret. For too long, I let fear of being alone keep me in a place where I wasn't fully valued. That ends today. We sat in silence after that, a silence that wasn't uncomfortable, but heavy with truth. I could feel the tension gradually lift, replaced by a strange sense of calm. The storm had passed, and in its place was clarity. I had acted decisively, finally stepping out of the shadow of doubt, finally claiming my own life, my own future, my own peace. The divorce wasn't just a legal document. It was a declaration of self-respect. It was proof that I could act with courage, even when love was involved, even when emotions ran deep, even when the outcome scared me. And in that moment, as I looked at her, a quiet relief. Not because I was happy she wanted to leave, but because I no longer had to wonder.